Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today I'm checking out the ONN Surf 7-inch tablet that's available for around $50 at Walmart. Now, this says it's the tablet Gen 2. I want to say this is more so the 2.5 version, somewhere in between the 2nd gen and the 3rd gen that might come out who knows when. The reason I say that is because this is more of an update rather than an upgrade from that. But I'm going to be showing everything as if you're not familiar with the previous gen or the 2nd gen that came out earlier this year. The main difference here is that this is running Android 11 Go. With Android 11, the newest feature is the kids mode that's here, the kids space and entertainment space. Kids space is basically having parental controls over what your kid sees and for how long. This is packed with 2 gigs of RAM, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for the price it's more than acceptable, I'd say. Only 16 gigs of internal storage, but there is a microSD card slot available. A 7-inch 1024 by 600 resolution. That is kind of a low res. I would like to see 720p at this day and age, because we've been seeing this same resolution for, I don't know, 5 years now. I should say we've been seeing it on 7-inch tablets, cheap 7-inch tablets. So in the package, you've got some coupons here that Walmart offers, the tablet itself, a user guide, quick start guide, a USB-C cable, and just the charging brick, 5 volt, 1 amp. The tablet feels like any other tablet, well, except for the back. The back is this textured, I don't know exactly what to call it. It's really just plastic though. The good thing about this is that it won't catch fingerprints so easily compared to like glossy plastic. On the back here's a camera, rear camera that's not protruding, a speaker on the back, and you know how I feel about back speakers, not a big fan. The USB-C port. Next to the USB-C port is a microphone on the left. I think there's just one microphone all around. Nothing on the side here. A 3.5mm headphone jack, micro SD card slot, and then volume keys and a power button. And then on the front there is the camera that's in the middle. The tablet has some bloatware here, Walmart's app, Voodoo, and Sam's Club. And unfortunately you can't even uninstall these, so you're kind of stuck with this. And out of the box, that's a little unfortunate because there's only about 11.5 gigs available out of the box. I mean, there's not much storage space to begin with, so luckily there is that micro SD card slot, but a lot of tablets have it these days. Took some quick shots here. The rear camera is obviously nothing to be excited about. Same with the front camera because they're both 2 megapixels. I guess it's good enough to take notes or something because on here you can pretty much read everything. And even the front camera was a little better than expected. I mean, I don't want to show my face right now, but you can read Canon zoom lens on my camera, so I was just impressed by that on a cheap tablet like this. The screen itself is fine. It doesn't really feel too pixelated or anything. It's not laminated, so you will see like the black bars on the side, that air gap, and there's no problem with like viewing the screen angle from sides, where one side might feel burned or the other might be too bright. No, it's just fine. And it does get bright. It's not enough to use outside in sunlight. What you're seeing here right now is the Google Kids account that was linked up. I created an account for a kid that I don't even have, but just to show you what it looks like when you have Kids Space enabled. And to get to Kids Space, it's really simple. You just click on the app that looks similar to this logo or this icon. Once you get to that, then you can go create your account, and you can actually manage everything from there on another device on what your kid sees, the permissions you give him, like for instance what websites he can see and what he can't. This UI is really simple and easy to understand. Like the last app I was using was YouTube, so it shows up here. You can look at today's books, little joke of the day, among other things. And then to get to games, they can click here. They have all of the stuff that they can download here. You can click on my apps and go into games, and we'll take a look at games in a moment. This does a poor job though because everything but games shows up on here. Like games is, I don't even have any games on here, even though I downloaded them, which is kind of funny. And then this is to read, this is for videos, and then of course you're mainly going to be able to use YouTube Kids for your kid, but you can also have them use YouTube, the regular YouTube app, which isn't recommended because they might see some content that they shouldn't be seeing, or they might end up, accidentally going through something that they shouldn't be. On Chrome, to get to any website, your kid is going to need to ask permission from you. So, and you can either approve it or deny it based from your phone directly or device. And one way to do that is by having a thing called Family Link, the app called Family Link, which is also available on here. It'll recommend you to download it and install it on your phone as well as this device. So you both will have it and it'll be easy to track everything. So for example, let's say I want to get onto Facebook, which by the way, I don't recommend getting your kids onto social media for this because you can't keep track of the stuff they see. And I did try to go onto Twitter, and unfortunately I saw some images that kids aren't supposed to see. So that's just a heads up for you. Something small. So I want permission, ask permission, and let's see. Okay, now I got it on my phone to approve or deny it. So I can approve it or decline it. So I'll just decline this, and I won't be able to get permission until the parent says okay. Kind of convenient, a nice thing to have. The only gripe I have with kids mode is I can't see the apps that I downloaded, the game apps. And I'm not sure if it's because I chose like a low age. I don't know if I said like I put this for like a 5 or 6 year old, but yeah, these are the games that are available that they can download and play. So unfortunately it doesn't show up here to check out regular games from the App Store directly. They have it like selected for the kids, which I guess could be a good thing in and of itself, but I guess in a way it's limited too. So take that how you will. 1024 by 600, and the same problem with the viewing angles. When you tilt it one way, the video is played at 720p. It can go all the way to 1080p, but obviously this is a 1024 by 600 display, so you're not really going to get that full HD look or feel. Same with HD, you're not really going to feel it that much. And the speaker on the back is tinny, as to be expected. It can be covered with one finger. Also, unfortunately, there is no mini player that opens up when you're watching the video. It gets really bright. Mini player is basically when you click the home button, there's going to be a little player of the video still playing down there. That doesn't happen in this case, even though it has 2 gigs of RAM. The CPU is still the same from last year, ARM MT8168B. And then the GPU is a little different. It's a Mali G52. The last one was an Mali G52 MC2. So I'm not sure exactly what the differences are. The scores are relatively low. Multi-core score did a little better than what I expected. Man, I can't even talk today. Still very low. And the compute score, I just did one score. Not really going to waste my time on these benchmark scores. Overall performance seems to be okay. I do notice some moments where it's like a little slower than other times. Things might take a little longer to load. One thing in general that I noticed with this one is that you have to normally press a little bit harder than usual compared to your other devices like the iPhone and other tablets. I'm not sure, maybe it's just me, I'm overreacting, but it does seem like it's I have to press a little harder and it's just a little annoying. Web browsing should be pretty straightforward. You might notice some lags and delays here and there, a little bit more than usual, but it's not really enough to hinder your performance, because it does have 2 gigs of RAM, and even though 2 gigs of RAM sounds pretty low, it can actually handle stuff a lot better than what it used to be, which is 1 gig. First game I'm checking out here is Cookie Run, and it's a pretty straightforward game. There's no lag or delays whatsoever. Next game here is Brawl Stars, and it pretty much handles it like a champ, no problems whatsoever. Don't really notice any delays either. Finally, I'm checking out some games on Roblox here. Now, some of it was like kind of chill and like a little bit smoother, but this one is like really slow and choppy. So this can really handle low-end games. Can't really expect much after that. But yeah, this is definitely not playable, I'd say. I mean, look at how slow this is. Did I kill someone? Okay, nice. So overall, even though the only upgrade from last year was Android 11, it's kind of a big deal that they have kid space on here. As I'm thinking about it, I think there may have been some type of parental controls on earlier Android tablets, but I don't think it was to the level that this one's at here. Well, in general, Android 11, so if your tablet is running Android 11 or newer, then you definitely won't have any problems with accessing kid space. I mean, that's going to be available on all of them, I believe. And it's a nice little feature if you have a kid and you're going to give this to a kid, because I do remember back then that there were kids tablets and they did cost an extra like $10 to like $40 depending on what you got, and sometimes it wasn't even, you know, all that great. There might have been issues here and there because it wasn't exactly from Google. It was like a skin on top of it from a Chinese brand or just any other brand in general. But yeah, this is definitely going to be available on like stock Android. Well, this isn't stock Android, but it definitely feels like it's near stock Android. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Leave a like if you found this video helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more. As always, thanks for watching.